piece of Papoose. You really are. You have turned into a piece of this, the gambling, the failures that you've had in your career or whatever that didn't pan out how you wanted to, has turned you into somebody else.
You're very cruel to people because you're a narcissist. She's the type of person who will say something to you, and 10 to 5 minutes later, she'll say, I didn't say that. Straight bipolar. Straight bipolar. Was diagnosed with it. You're not Cardi B, man. Let's keep it a buck. This is how phony you is.
Piece of Pakless, you really are. You've turned into a piece of this. The gambling, the failures you've had in your career, or whatever didn't pan out how you wanted, it's turned you into somebody else. You're very cruel to people because you're a narcissist. She's the type of person who will say something to you, and 5 to 10 minutes later she'll say, I didn't say that. Straight bipolar. Straight bipolar. Was diagnosed with it. You're not Cardi B, man. Let's keep it A-B. This is how phony you are. Ladies and gentlemen, the culture is shook. Remy Ma, yes, that Remy Ma, has just been emotionally annihilated after Easy the Block Captain hit her with the coldest breakup of the decade. And the reason? Not a man, not a scandalous rapper, not even a clout-chasing blogger. She cheated with a woman. Flushed face, oh, you thought 2025 was going to calm down? Think again. Because this is not just tea. This is a whole damn scalding tsunami. We're talking betrayal, secret love affairs, backroom hookups, coded Instagram stories, a mysterious woman known only as Z. And yes, hidden security cam footage from a plant-based lesbian lounge in Brooklyn. I kid you not. Is this revenge for Papoose? A PR stunt gone rogue? Or is Remy spiraling into a love triangle so chaotic it's making Jada and will look like a healthy couple? Where's Easy now? Why is Remy crying on live? And who TF is this mystery woman turning the rap queen's world upside down? Get comfortable, because what you're about to hear is so insane, so outrageous, it might just break the internet. Welcome to the wildest expose of the year. Let's get into it. They always say, never meet your heroes. But what they don't tell you is, never sleep with your mentee, or your spiritual advisor, or both. Remy Ma just found herself at the center of the most jaw-dropping, eyebrow-snatching, relationship-ruining scandal hip-hop has seen since Offset accidentally went live in someone else's DMs. This isn't just drama. This is a genre shift. A complete cinematic reboot of her public image, her love life, her career, and possibly her sanity. And the internet? Oh, it's eating. It all starts with Easy the Block Captain, battle rap's poster child. The man who went from underground underdog to top-tier phenom faster than most rappers can say URL. Charisma? Check. Bars? Lethal. Swagger? Dangerous. He had just enough of that Philly bite to make fans love him and haters study him. And then there was Remy Ma, the legend, the lioness. 1/3 rap icon, 1/3 media mogul, and 1/3 don't play with me. I will actually shoot you. She was the mentor, the boss, the queen maker. But somewhere between the boardroom meetings and the tour bus late nights, something shifted. Suddenly, the vibe changed. Interviews went from strictly professional to suspiciously flirty. Easy's eyes lingered too long. Remy's laughter came too easy. And fans? They peeped the tension. Twitter turned into CSI, hip-hop. Instagram comments looked like full-blown Reddit threads. People weren't asking if they were messing around. People were asking how long they'd been doing it. At first, they denied it. Of course they did. Nah, it's all business, said Remy. That's big sis, said Easy. But then came the dinner in Soho. The mysterious third guest, the tall woman with locks, a nose ring, and sage in her purse. An alleged healer, some said. A known seductress, said others. And that's when everything started unraveling like a Fashion Nova dress on a windy day. What fans didn't know was that Remy was going through it behind the scenes. The fairy tale with Papoose? Cracked. Sources say the black love poster couple was barely speaking by late 2023. Passive-aggressive tweets. Long studio sessions. A birthday not celebrated together. The signs were there, no one wanted to read them. Then Remy, looking for balance, gets introduced to a woman named Ziana, aka Z, a spiritual consultant with a client list full of B-list actresses and bitter influencers. She calls herself a soul whisperer. Fans call her the female version of that dude who runs pyramid schemes in hotel lobbies on Instagram Live. Remy fell hard. What started as chakra cleansing turned into nightly FaceTimes, tantric yoga sessions, exclusive two-person sound baths in hotel suites. One insider said, Remy didn't go anywhere without Z. By January, she even booked her for the 3-city tour as her energy manager. Energy manager, girl? What's she managing? Your aura or your bedroom? Meanwhile, Easy was still in the picture, just enough to be seen, just enough to be useful. They'd show up to press runs together, share a few smirks, give the fans crumbs. But behind the scenes, the tension was suffocating. One of Easy's battle rap homies spilled the tea anonymously. She had that man thinking he was the king, but turns out he was just the decoy. Then came the moment that changed everything. Easy stepped into a battle with Gotti, probably thinking he was about to deliver another lyrical homicide. But instead, he got ethered. Not by bars, by receipts. Real ones. Screenshots. Rumors. Chi stood 10 feet tall and said what everyone was thinking. You out here creeping with a rapper's wife. The crowd gasped. You could feel Remy's soul leave her body in that exact moment. Someone in the audience literally yelled, DAMNNN, like it was a sitcom. And Easy? Easy stood frozen like a boy who got caught playing with matches and just burned the whole damn house down. That battle wasn't just a loss. It was a funeral. For Remy's secrets. For Easy's respect. For whatever weird power dynamic they were playing out in public. After that night, it all came crashing down. Easy went ghost. Pulled out of shows. Took Remy's name off his bio. One close source says he told his manager, I don't care if she's with a man, woman, or a Martian. She played me like a game she already beat. Meanwhile, Remy tried to play it cool until she couldn't. During a live stream meant to promote a makeup line, someone asked about Easy in the comments. She paused, blinked fast, then broke. Tears. Real ones. Not that influencer sniffle cry. This was diaphragm shaking, deep breathing. I got caught up crying. She said, people think they know what's going on, but they don't know the whole story. I've been hurt too. Wait, what? You got hurt, ma'am? You were double dipping in the love triangle fondue, and now you want to be the victim? But it wasn't just Easy who felt betrayed. Papoose, her husband, was allegedly already packing bags months before. One source close to the family claims he had been emotionally checked out since he found out about Z, long before the blogs did. That's right. This wasn't just infidelity. Wasn't just girl-on-girl scandal. This was layered betrayal. Easy thought he was the secret, but he wasn't the only one. Turns out the other woman was the main woman, and nobody told the side dude. And just when you thought the plot couldn't twist any harder, a blurry rooftop photo surfaces. Remy and Z, candlelight, wine, holding hands. You couldn't see their faces, but you could feel the vibe. And the caption from the fan who posted it? Somebody come get your Andy before she ends up on an episode of For My Man. And that, my friends, is where it goes nuclear. Because what came next wasn't just tears and heartbreak, it was leaks, voice notes, financial fraud accusations, a necklace worth more than your mama's rent, gifted on a label budget, and whispers of a possible Rockefeller investigation into how funds were being moved to keep Z living lavish. And it all starts right here. Because in part 2, we're digging into the backdoor deals, the leaked DMs, and a so-called healing retreat into Loom that may have doubled as a luxury love nest funded with promo money meant for Easy's tour. You heard that right. The tea is no longer piping hot, it's criminal scalding. If you thought this was wild, just wait till you hear who else might have known and stayed silent. Welcome to the real chaos. You ready? So, let's talk about the money. Because if you thought this was just about feelings and flirtation, think again. This wasn't just a love triangle. It was a damn financial hexagon. According to multiple leaked docs and messages obtained by sources we absolutely did not make up, Remy was allegedly moving label funds to support Z's luxury lifestyle. Yep, that chakra reopening, moon crystal activating, energy healing mystic was living better than half the Billboard Hot 100. And it was all getting billed under creative consulting. Now, what exactly does a spiritual advisor need with a $22,000 iced-out Cuban link with the word ELAN on it? And why was the payment for that necklace marked as a chhor wardrobe expense for Easy? Yeah, let that sink in. Sources close to Easy's management say he didn't even know about the expense until 2 weeks after the chain was spotted in one of Z's now-deleted Instagram stories. You know the one, the Sunday Reset post, where she's sipping green juice in a velvet robe, captioned, "Not all queens wear crowns. Some wear power." The comments were turned off, but the streets were on fire. And just when you thought the whispers were over, boom, the burner DMs leak. And not just any DMs. We're talking screenshots from a Finsta account tied to Remy's email, filled with late-night poetry and voice notes allegedly sent to Z, with captions like, "I don't want to be fixed. I just want to be seen.
And you see me, ma'am.
You're married to Papoose, the man who held you down through a bid, a baby, and a damn BET Awards tribute." The betrayal wasn't even subtle at this point. It was theatrical. If this had happened in a Tyler Perry movie, critics would have said it was too unrealistic.
But nope.
This was real,
Messy.
live streamed, and rapidly turning into a legal problem. Because here's where it gets ugly. Once whispers of budget mismanagement hit the blogs, anonymous sources from within Remy's own label started talking.
And what they said, phew.
It made the tea turn into straight gasoline. According to one insider, funds meant for Easy's block pressure tour were mysteriously redirected to cover what they called wellness expenses. These included a 4-day healing retreat in Tulum, custom crystal-infused candles, a silk meditation tent, and a matching set of rose quartz yoni eggs now, unless Easy's planning on battling his demons through breathwork and vaginal gemstone healing. Something clearly ain't adding up. Allegedly, an internal audit has already started behind the scenes, quiet, private, but very real. Lawyers have been contacted. Emails have been pulled. And Easy? Word is he's fully cooperating. And you better believe Papoose ain't sitting quietly through this either. One of his longtime affiliates hinted that Pap may be preparing receipts of his own, screenshots, photos, even surveillance footage from their home studio allegedly showing Z coming and going at hours that would make a nun suspicious. In one clip that's rumored to exist but hasn't surfaced yet, Z is seen entering the studio at 1:38 a.m. and doesn't leave until nearly 6 a.m. And no, they weren't recording a track. They weren't even mic'd up. Unless you count the kind of moaning that doesn't require auto-tune. And here's where things get straight up sinister. Remember that private rooftop moment that leaked in part 1? The candlelight? The hand-holding? Well, turns out that wasn't the first time. Multiple anonymous tipsters have sent in photos from cities all over, Miami, L.A., even New Orleans, where Remy and Z were allegedly spotted sharing not-so-low-key moments in public. But just low-key enough to pass under the radar. The floodgates are open. Everything's coming out. Bloggers are zooming in on old posts. Fans are scrubbing interviews. One even found a 2024 podcast where Z talks about falling in love with a woman who didn't know if she was ready to choose peace over power. Sound familiar? Here's the real kicker though. Z allegedly signed an NDA. Yep, a non-disclosure agreement drawn up by Remy's own legal team. But guess what? That NDA expired in May 2025, this month. And ever since, Z's been posting a little more boldly, a little more cryptically. One tweet in particular has folks losing their minds. Sometimes the universe sends you chaos wrapped in curls and conviction. Is she talking about herself? About Remy? About the absolute mess this entire scandal has become? No one knows. But the quote racked up 800K views in under 12 hours and even sparked a trend on TikTok called #ChaosCurls, where users reenact their own toxic entanglements in spiritual settings because of course it did. Welcome to the internet. Meanwhile, the battle rap world is watching this like it's pay-per-view. Eazy's rivals are clowning him online. One even dropped a diss track titled Blocked by Love, with the hook, "She gave you the keys to the castle and dipped with the gardener." Brutal. But Eazy's response? Radio silence. He's wiped every mention of Remy from his platforms. Unfollowed the label. Unfollowed her. Even untagged old photos. One close friend says he's in his healing era, which, in rap terms, means he's plotting a comeback so savage, it's going to make Ether sound like a love song. But here's what's really got the streets buzzing. There are whispers, just whispers, that Eazy might be preparing a tell-all of his own. Whether it's a battle, a podcast, or a flat-out interview with the Breakfast Club, nobody knows. But one insider said, if he talks, the whole game shifts. There's stuff he knows that even Remy forgot, she said. And just like that, what started as some low-key flirtation between a mentor and her protege has now snowballed into a full-blown media scandal. We're talking emotional trauma, broken marriages, financial audits, and a suspiciously flexible healer at the heart of it. But guess what? It's still not over. Because in part 3, we're diving into the fallout, the PR cover-ups, the brand deals being pulled, the quiet calls being made to networks, the fact that Remy hasn't posted in over a week, the rumors that Papoose might be filing separation papers, and most